and getting water where it needs to be. Actually, it's been that way for a little while now with our irrigation, but this week we have ditch irrigation coming in for the big pecan trees and all of our other fruit trees. And it's been a trial this year. Usually we have it before April coming down the ditch, and by April 1st-ish we have the water, which was what happened last year. And we do a lot of work to get that water to our property and other properties, and I'm going to show you some footage of that. But this year, right now, it's been all about the water, getting the water to the new market garden plot that we've been, building the beds out on, and also getting the water in the ditch to where it needs to be and clearing the ditch, all of that. So let's get to it. Well, today is the first of the irrigation of the season, which means each of us that get irrigation, ditch irrigation to our property, need to help out with cleaning the ditch and getting the water down to all of the properties it needs to go to. So today's my turn, and it's one of the first days they opened that they fired up the pumps. And it's a 7-mile ditch. It has, I want to say there's 7 gates, and I'm going to be going to each of them today. So let's get going.
Seeing the road and the easement there at second.
All right, so this is our section where the water comes down the ditch to our place. So what we want to put here is, if you notice, the water will continue going down the ditch and down to other properties that it feeds if we don't block this off. So it will be redirected into here, go across underneath there and toward our property. So this one I have to put this board in. Check her out. She's a big one. All right, so I have to take this off so that the water can come through. She's a big one. While I'm prepping this area, I was just about to put this in, and I found this. Check this out. Now, I would dig that as a kid. Looks like some kids built a fort around these trees. That is pretty cool. Hardest time remembering which way I had to go. I think I have to walk up now. I'll crank this off in a moment. I'll show you guys what I gotta check out. Alright, so here's the ditch. And we do have water. It doesn't look like it's flowing very fast, but it never flows very fast when it's the beginning of it all. Hop over the fence. Alright, I think I'm going the right way. There's a gate down here that I gotta check. If I remember right. So it looks like, I'm not sure. I can't quite remember on this one because I've only been here once. And we did a ton of other stuff that day. So wander yonder. See if I can remember. And this is a wash area, so mountain in the distance. Wish I could zoom in. I'm using the GoPro, so I can't. But this is beautiful wash area. And I remember walking through here. So wow, those are beautiful. Here's water. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because I remember coming back here. All the way back here, and I don't think we would have come all the way back. Check out that lake. Pond. Lake. Yeah, there's the gate. Look at this. Look at how beautiful. Oh, look. That crane just took off. Gorgeous. Alright, here we go. So they've opened the gates, and what I'm checking for is that the water, that this isn't too backed up. So I have to clear that. Great. And I hear water leaking here. So we're losing some water here, probably because there's debris down there. So I gotta try to get that. Looks like it's all the way closed. I'm trying to keep the water in. And this isn't too bad. This is, you know, we're gonna have some of that. It's okay when there's some. Can't remember if there's a gate further up here that I can make it to. Come up this way just to see what everything's looking like in the water here. These massive cottonwood trees. I think they drink like 600 gallons of water a week. Some crazy amount of water. But I remember someone mentioning something about 600 gallons of water. Okay. See another opening down here. Okay, well, we got a lot of water. Doing pretty good on that. A little bit of backup over here. Looks like this thing needs to be taken out. Deer. Deer coming down for water, I'm sure. The water seeps in, you know, as you can see, initially it seeps in quite a bit into the ground for a little while till it's saturated, and then we get better flow as we open it up each time. And that is about every couple weeks once the season starts. And usually I go for about 4, wow, it's so beautiful, to 6 hours. So 4 to 6 hours a time at each time we get the water. This time I'm going with 4 because it's just such a slow flow that I don't want to, you know, I just don't want to waste the time because we have to pay hourly for it. You know, understandably, you have to pay for the gas for the pumps, and one is diesel and one is electric. So, that I know of anyway. Definitely don't know everything. Look at how beautiful. This wash is, I want to just go down the wash right now. Check it out. There's the Jeep. Back to the road and on to the next gate. Aha. Oh hey, that was a frog. Sweet. The frogs are back. Here we go. So I could have driven over here, but decided to take a nature walk instead. And I think there is another way to this one, but you'd have to take this road, and this is kind of gnarly. So all we're doing is checking to see if there's anything big. See all that stuff? That's what they pull out of here early in the season before we even open the gates, before they even turn on the pumps. So this isn't a big deal, but I'm still gonna work on getting some of it out, just so that little bit of water that's flowing isn't held up too much. Once the water gets flowing more, it'll push it through because it's just little stuff, but we'll get it done. So you can see it's flowing a little bit more now, not too much. China mainland. Don't you love it, people? When you get these calls from outer space, basically. Anyway, so you can see the water's somewhat going. It looks pretty slow right now, but that is moving. And it looks like there's a decent amount of water in there, actually, for this first run. So that is promising. For sure. It's beautiful out here. Can't complain. It's a little warm today. It's about, I think it was going to be 82. So, I mean, that's not hot by any means to me. Hot is 115, 120 where I'm from. Now, see, you have things like that and that really slow up stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of that out. Alright, so I've created a little bit of an opening there. You don't want to knock everything downstream either, so you want to make sure whatever you can get to, you can move out of the way and just create an opening. And that debris will push itself aside over time, and it'll be just fine. By the way, aren't these great? These lovely water boots. Yes, you have to have these, trust me. It's a beautiful day. I sound seriously out of breath. That is funny. It's the boots. The winds are still crazy here. And you know, last year, the locals had told me that the wind was only basically like spring training time. It begins and kind of goes through the month of March. Maybe a little bit in April. And you know, you have winds here and there afterwards. There's some old carports. Those are really old cars too. Pretty cool. And unfortunately, we've had wind since the end of February, all through March, and now still into the end of April, and it's still been, you know, we have our moments where it's great, like in the mornings typically, which I'm very grateful for. So, not trying to complain, but this season has made it really difficult to get the garden beds going. Really difficult. It's just still super gusty at the end of the day, and then it's getting warmer, so it's like super warm, dry. We don't have any rain right now, and really windy. And so, and the winds, when I look at my app that has all of that good info, the winds are not coming down anytime soon, entirely anyway. So we have a lot. Look how beautiful the road. So cool. All the trees in the distance and mountains. Can't complain. Just about the wind. If I didn't garden, I probably wouldn't care so much. I just think, you know, the gardening, it just really affects the gardening situation. This next gate had a cottonwood right there, right over there, that they just took out. It had halfway fallen over. And remember the one that I just showed you at the second gate? Yeah, it was bigger than that. So it was massive. And the gate that I need to go to is somewhere right over here. Alright, I just cleared some debris here. There's quite a bit on the other side, but as long as we create a pathway, the water starts to get going. Alright, winds have really picked up this afternoon. I'm going to head on to gate 4. Ooh. Now what? Oh, okay, so water hasn't made it here yet. We've not made it. Water's not made it down to Pecan yet. So I'll just be checking dry ditches at this point. So I'll get this debris out and go to the next. They call it the tree house. And just gonna look here. Oh yeah, Pennie tree. Now I don't remember this one. Okay, so far we don't have any water in it. So again, obviously we wouldn't have any water if we didn't have any at Pecan, because this is down north of Pecan. But I'm going to clear that debris that's right on the gate there. And that way at least that's out of the way, so whatever comes down after, I can get when the water is here. So I'll be back, but I'm going to get that out real quick. We've got 2 more to go that I know of. There might be 3, but I think there's only 2 more. Either way, there's no water at them yet, so if I miss one, I'll eventually get to it once I talk to the irrigation, ditch, irrigation, lateral captain. Alright. Gate 5. I think that's gate 5. Or I think this is the 5th one anyway that I've been to, so you can see that's pretty clear down there. We don't have water yet, of course. So that goes across and down that way. Alright, I checked the main ones that I needed to check for now, and we're just going to wait for the water to come down and reach the next ones that were dry, and then I'll be clearing those as we need them, and we'll just see when water arrives at our place. Today is Monday, and I'm assuming we'll probably get water by Wednesday, maybe, by the time it reaches us. So I'll be back. Alright, the gentleman that shook our trees, that has the shaker, this is his property. This is his con grove. Beautiful. Things greening up just a little. Not quite there yet. Got a lot of the cottonwoods that are greened up. All the pecans are just breaking in. See the trees? Oh yeah. The break is happening. Alright, today we are back at it. We've got the water finally to the closer gates. So water's probably made it to about gate 5. And I'm going to clear a couple spots, a couple different, like 3 different gates I'm going to check. And I hear they have a good amount of debris. That happens. And got to clear it and be ready to rumble for the water to get to our property. Okay, so I gotta clear that. And this I just need to check this gate. This gate 13. Looks like we're getting some trickle through, but it doesn't, I don't see any water coming or, you know, streaming through from here. We don't want it going that way. We want it here. Alright, so let's see. I'm gonna start taking it from the back first. So we're just trying to get any debris to clear that is holding it up, but it is streaming through even so. Pretty darn good. Well, I always try to get the stuff in the back first because you kind of want to try to keep the debris from going through. All that stuff, and then what I'll do is come from this direction and now got some flow. That's what we want right there. Yep, that's what we want. So once we get that initial debris that's been, you know, in, we just come back and check. And there's always more that falls for each run, but it's pretty good. I'll show you down the way there. There's a big old trunk. Can you see that massive trunk underneath there? It has fallen across the ditch. It's pretty amazing. It's a massive trunk. It looks to be of a cottonwood, of course. So let's go check that out. Wow, I never even really realized that before. Adventure time! Look at that. Look at the back of that. That's amazing. So it literally, let's see if I can look at the other side. I can get through here enough. There we go. Alright, now you can see, man, that is amazing. Look at how cool that is. Alright, let's move on. I gotta go get a gate at another one, another grate, I mean. this up. Okay, here at the next one. These were all dry last time I showed you guys. Last time I came to them, so this one I think I just have to hop the fence to get to. Let's see which way is best to hop. Not that. I don't know how else to get there. I think I could probably undo it, but that would be kind of silly. Gotta see about hopping here. There we go. Oh yeah, look at this mess. Wow. Now that is going to stop up the water, wouldn't you say? Start down here. And this is why we have water boots on. We eventually got to get in the ditch. Down the way, we have to get in the ditch. It's usually like an all-day thing to really get the water going. Let's see. Okay. Can't really get that side that easily. I'm gonna come around. It looks like people use this spot right here to get this back debris before I go working on the front. To go here. Maybe I'll try and go here first. Okay. Okay. Somewhat. All right. Seems a little slow. Okay. Well, it made a path. Now, once the water seeps in enough downstream and we keep getting the flow a little bit better, it'll keep coming through and I'll keep coming and clearing this as needed. Doesn't look like it's a super great job, I know, but this is kind of how you have to do it initially, just to keep moving along the ditch and getting the water going. All right, back over the fence. Alright, just went up and checked a couple spots in the ditch up there because I don't have water at my outlet yet. So, heading back up to the gate that is above us that's been opened up and should have water to it by now. And just to see how far, well, I know it's got water to it actually, someone let me know, forgot. But and I'm just wanting to check on how far it is and if there's any obstructions or anything like that, because it hasn't made it to us yet, as you saw. Sorry, the windshield was dirty, this dusty old Jeep. Alright, there's water. Okay, so I'm going to check that side, and it comes over here. I was here last time and showed you guys some of the footage of us clearing the gates. Oh, there's water. But how far down has it gotten? Alright, it's flowing pretty good. If you recall, we were down in here cleaning that, clearing that area so that that gate over there could seep really well and the water wouldn't seep through to the other side because we want it flowing. Yeah. As you can see, it's flowing pretty good. Now I'm going to go check further down and see what it's like over there. But first, I'm going to check this side. We also worked on this side in that earlier footage. So water's doing pretty good despite all the leaves you can see down in there. Yep. You know, there's always a bit in the beginning that gets through the other side, but you can tell you don't hear anything trickling. You don't see anything more trickling on this side, and that's what you're looking for. Once the water kind of settles, or the ground settles and the water settles. And last time we were looking at how cool this was. That's 2/12/1934. Crazy. Alright, I'm going to go through here. Like they're rebuilding all of this fencing stuff. The trees are coming in so nice. Flowing pretty good over here. Wow, nice. Normally there's areas that are slowed up from here by old leaves and leaves, but once you get a path like this, you just want to get in yours. That might be slowing it up like that. This one's not too bad. You want to try to keep it from having to go downstream too. There we go, there's that. It's going underneath it, but we'll get it. Again, you're just trying to create a pathway. Yeah, we got some slower stuff going on here. Just gonna keep going now. Alright, just cleared this little pathway here. I need to try to get on that side to try to get some more of that. But I just came down from the whole ditch, clearing it, and the water was flowing better. So now I need to hop over here and just clear a little bit more inside there. Let's see if I can get over here without getting snowed. Adventure time! Alright, so I'm just going to try to clear a little more around this, just so that when the water comes through, it looks like we got a pretty good pathway all through here. Last year I did a lot of clearing in here, but this looks pretty clear this year, which is really nice. It's going pretty good now, getting a little stronger. I'm gonna go back across and okay, that's the second time. They're just really trying to get my sunglasses today. Put them in my pocket and they're even trying to get them. Branches. Alright, we're flowing pretty good now. I went down and got all this stuff out that was causing little blockages. So, as you can see, the water's got a path now. I get that spot right there. A couple spots as I go back up, but for the most part, the majority of the bigger stuff that was causing the issue is out, so our flow should get better. We have water to our location and it's coming down. It's pretty. See, I have to fix that. It's kind of hard to fix, actually. We've got to come up with a little bit better system. This is the old system, and as you can see, a lot of water leaking through for now. I think that should help slow it up, and then I'll add some more stuff down there. And it's coming through. I'll clean all this up. There's a lot of stuff under there. Not so much here. But I can't get under there. So, not really. Guess I can try. Alright, I was able to get that moving. Still a lot of leaves, but I'll have to clear them down the way more. Water has officially reached Coppertree Acres. And we'll watch it continue to flow and see how good the flow does this time on our first run of the season. Whoa, are you getting wet already, peeps? Oh, I see it. It's back, isn't it? The water's back, huh? Yeah, that flood water's back. Oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? 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 Smell tushes. That's what we're gonna do. Everybody's excited. Let's go check out the flow. Unfortunately, the rest of my footage, for some reason, the audio didn't pick up, and so I'm just going to voice over this and kind of let you know what's going on here. So, in this scene, this is where the water comes into our property from the irrigation ditch. So right over there where the dogs are running, that right there is the culvert where the water comes to our property from underground there in the culvert. And then this is another pipe that leads underground right there to this backside of the main quad, what we call the main quad. The water flows down that side, and there's this berm here that's been created by the former owner. And as we go down this way, you'll see that there's another outlet, or maybe you'd call it an inlet, that where the water flows out into the main quad. So there's a couple of ways that the water gets to this main area to get these bigger trees in front. And over here is the other side of the house. So this is going to be on the south side. So we were on the north side of the main quad. And over here is all of the pomegranate trees. Unfortunately, these pomegranate trees, there's an apple tree right there, and that's another Pennie pecan tree. These pomegranate trees, we had our late frost So we had basically a fall spring where everything started to bud out and was looking all pretty, and the weather was heating up just enough, and then we had a frost just one night and it killed off all of that new growth. Okay, so this is back at where the water comes in from the ditch directly to the first part that heads to our property, and that is the gate that we have to put up to keep it from going down south there. So we want to direct it into that right there that's over to the left, and that takes it under this cattle rail and all under there and through. And so what I'm showing you here is that the water's flowing, but it's just a little, it's a little slow right now. That's definitely not. And then that culvert that goes underground over there is way to the back. So I've gone up north here and I'm just going to check for any blockages, anything that's like holding up the water flow from being faster. Since this is our first run, this is always something we have to do, is just to keep it in check there. This area is so pretty underneath this beautiful mesquite tree, and it looks like it's pretty clear here. We don't have too many areas that were backed up, but I did do some work while I was back here and kind of cleared some spots. Heading back up this way after going, up and down this part of the ditch, and headed back to the Jeep here, and this is just such a pretty tree. I just think it's neat. I'm not even sure what kind of tree it is, I just think it's really cool looking. So I was checking it out. So I'm heading back down south toward my property. This is north of our property, and this is just the ditch area that we usually have to clear quite a bit because it typically gets overgrown with weeds toward the end of summer, and then there's the spines of those weeds at the beginning of spring that need to be cleared out if we've not brought the cows in to eat back all of the foliage while it's green in summer. Sometimes they do that and sometimes not. Okay, so back here at the front part of the property, this is where the flow usually gets really full by this point. Now it might look like it's full to you, but that's actually kind of low. Typically it gets really full on that side and then spills into the main quad here that I talked about before. And so this is one area it spills into the main quad, and then we have that area I showed you around the side there to the north. This is an area I keep closed off that goes around to the back of the property. I keep it closed off until the main quad is full or has been watered well enough, and then I pull those boards and allow this water to flow down. Now you'll still see that there's water there because it seeps through, but I let the majority of it down a little bit later in our session of getting water, and then there's this pipe that goes through to our front yard. And again, this is early spring, this is May 1st, and right around May 1st, and we've got our baby chicks that had come in at the end of March. They're getting bigger there, and the trees are budding out. And I'm just kind of showing you here that water goes down. There's some crops we had. I'm having some coffee and letting the chickens out. They love to go and forage around for bugs when we get irrigation, so I love letting them out. This is before we had our chickshaw done, which we have done now, and before they were out on pasture for the year, so they were still in the main coop, and I'm letting them out. They haven't been out in a little while, and they're going to go find some bugs. It's pretty fun to watch them forage around all of the areas where the water's coming down because they just find the best stuff. And this is back with the pomegranates to the south of the property. We have about 21 pomegranate trees, or bushes, I guess you'd say. And this is going around to the mid-back quad, and I'll show you how the water kind of flows back here to feed these trees. However, we didn't get a good enough flow. As I've mentioned before, this first run is never that great. We always expect that. So this is not going to be filled up, but it did make its way pretty good to some of these back trees. This is our mid-back quad, so it did feed some of the trees on the exterior of these two areas right here. And then I'll show you back here is our kind of like back quad, but not the very back. That's kind of how we label these anyway, because we've got different sections that are divided by the berms. And you'll see these two got tons of water. It's pretty crazy how much water came to these two. Even with those boards blocking that culvert that you saw, I hadn't even pulled it yet, because it just didn't need to be pulled necessarily. We were trying to keep more water going to the main quad. Okay, so this is our back quad, and not the very back, but this is our back quad. We have a very back one over there that I don't go to in the video because the water hasn't reached there, but it flows through this little swell you see there and goes to the very back when we do have enough water. Walking back to the main quad to kind of show you how much water actually ended up over there at the end of the 4-hour session that we got. I want to say it even went 6 hours on this. I'm not quite remembering if I went 6 hours on this session or 4. I know most of the time I'm going to go 4 this season because it's just we're getting better flow as the season goes on. And if you pay attention to future videos on the irrigation that I'll put out, you'll see that this water is excessively more than what you're seeing right here. See, that tree didn't even get any water coming through, and we've just got a big section right here that it's spilling into, but that tree is not getting anything really. And that's that other area where the water comes in this main quad, and typically this fills up. So this doesn't fill up always completely really high, and sometimes it does, but basically you're just looking to get good coverage over all the trees. And going back toward the area where the water comes in, it's the end of the day, and this is the end of the first session, which was a ton of work, as you see, to just kind of get it going, but it's all well worth it in the end. And it's been a beautiful day, really nice day. That is my tote, my IBC tote full of fertilizer, Tony's Magic Mix, natural organic fertilizer that I give the trees, and saying bidding you adieu, but you can't hear me. And this is basically what was left of the flow at the end of the day. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you join me on future episodes of Irrigation Time here at Coppertree Acres. Take care. Life is short. Live it well. God bless.